Hey, what's up, YouTube fam? My name is Regi Johnson, owner and fitness coach of Reinvention Fitness LLC, and I'm back with my second episode of Somebody Needs to Hear It. Today, I am going to focus on knowing your why and trying to figure out your why. But before I jump into that, I'm going to get this housekeeping out of the way. Okay, so like all new YouTube channels, my channel is currently on life support. So please be that lifesaver. You might be able to add it to your resume or, your list of accomplishments or something like that. So hit the like, subscribe, share, notification bell up in the top corner. That way you get notified of when I post videos. In addition to that, I do want to put this disclaimer out there. I am not a financial advisor. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist or anything like that. I'm just a man who likes to share his experiences, his opinions, his perspectives, things like that in hopes of helping somebody out. Now, that was something I just came up with. I've seen a lot of videos where, they put out there that this is for entertainment purposes only. It might be one of those legal things just to protect yourself. But now that the dishes are cleaning, the trash is taken out, let me get into this knowing your why and figuring out your why. All right, so knowing your why and figuring out your why is something that you should spend time on if you're thinking of starting a business or setting some type of goal for yourself in regards to fitness, diet, or whatever the case may be. Today, what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a couple of experiences I had and how I figured out my why and what my why is. All right. So although I've always had an entrepreneur spirit, I wanted to start my business out of anger. That was my initial why on starting my business. And I will put out there that it was not my initial motivation for starting Reinvention Fitness. It goes back to my current place of employment. I won't mention that. If you know me, you already know what it is. But I got passed over for a position that I was more than qualified for. I was actually more qualified than the people that were already in place, I felt. So I had the fortunate opportunity to meet Chris Mathis. Shout out Chris, who eventually became my mentor. And one day we had met up for drinks at Applebee's, and I never forget this story because I actually got pretty mad at Chris that night. For one, he wasn't drinking with me or whatever. We meet up for drinks, but I'm the only one ordering drinks. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. So we're chopping it up over drinks and or I'm drinking or whatever. We're just chopping it up, and he asked me, what business I want to come up with. So the business I told him, like I said, was a direct reflection of what had happened to me in my current position. And like I said, I'm not afraid to admit, I'm not embarrassed to admit that the motivation at that time was anger. And honestly, I think he knew that that wasn't a genuine thing, or a genuine motivation. So, of course, after he pushed me a little bit or whatever, I was like, okay, if I keep saying this, then he's going to keep asking me the question. And, it was getting real irritating at that time. So I told him the whole freedom and time thing. All right. So although I told him, my whole motivation behind starting a business was to create more freedom and time. Like I said, I think he knew that it wasn't genuine at that time. So every meeting after that, regardless of what I wanted to talk about, Chris asked me, "What's your why? What's your why? What's your why?" And like I said, it was getting irritating because I kept giving him the same answer. But of course, I didn't realize until later that although I knew it, I didn't know that he knew that my answer wasn't genuine. So what eventually happened is I started personal training in order to fund the quote unquote business I wanted to do out of anger. And that is actually when it hit me. It's like, okay, I'm doing this more than I'm working on this anger driven business. So it kind of clicked. It's like, okay, personal training is something that I really like to do. It's something that I've done in the past. And because of other circumstances, I had quit. But it came back to me once I started training a few people. And then now when he asked me my why, or later on when it got to the point where he asked me my why, I was able to give him an answer with complete conviction. It's something that I love to do. All of that freedom and time thing that comes along with it. But my reason for shifting over to fitness and training and things of that sort was because I really liked it. It was something I felt I was good at. I have a teacher's background, so I also felt that I was able to, provide information and teach people and things of that sort or whatever, along with the whole fitness thing. So my why for starting Reinvention Fitness back 5 years ago was because it was truly something I love to do. And that's even what drives me today. But in addition to loving what I do, another thing that drives me is the fact that I built this from the ground up. I'm not a huge business or anything like that, but at the end of the day, I can say it's mine. And I have a great deal of satisfaction knowing that I did this. So I guess that will tie into the freedom part. Another thing that really drives me in regards to my why and why I keep going and keep pushing is that I have a 22 or 23-year-old son. I have a 20-year-old daughter. I have a 13-year-old daughter. I also have a 4-year-old son. I can actually go to them and say, hey, if your dad can do this, you guys can do it too. Here's the blueprint. It may not be perfect, but here's the blueprint. Add to it, build to it. But, just like I can do it, you can definitely do this too. And there's no greater satisfaction than knowing whenever I walk into my gym, that it's mine. That is like, I did this. I run this. I'm like a one-man band there, but it's a great satisfaction. So that's my why for starting and eventually a change to continuing Reinvention Fitness. Now, in addition to that, I want to that was more on finding your why for, becoming an entrepreneur, things like that. But I always told you guys that I'm going to try to keep this fitness related. So I'm going to tell you the story about when I decided to start back working out and my why on that. And I'm not embarrassed to say that it was vanity driven. Just what it was at the time. So anyways, I had to be about 24, 25-ish at the time. My daughter's 20. So about 24, 25. I had just had my second kid. And before that, from high school up to this time I had my second kid, I'd always been into fitness competition, basketball, Gus Mackers, boxing, things of that sort. So I always worked out. And after I had my second kid, I got the full-time job working overtime and things of that sort. So life kind of took over and working out took a way back seat or whatever, back of the bus type back seat. But it was one day I was at home with the lady I was with at that time. And of course I had started drinking beer. I was getting into that mode of this is what life is. And she says to me, you don't look like you used to when we first met. And of course, I turned the beer up like, what you're talking about? Look down and, I had a little pot belly. I swear it was like something from the movies. I was just like, man, I don't look like it. But up until that point, I hadn't even noticed that. I never really got into how I look or anything like that. It was more so I worked out and I was thin because this is what I saw my dad do. Taking us to the park. He would take us to the park, let us run around, and he would like run 3 or 4 miles or whatever on the track and whatnot. So this is just was my mindset. This is what I did. I didn't understand any health benefits or anything like that. So that day, I actually went to the gym and I never looked back really. Um, it motivated me to get back to the gym. First thing I did when I got to the gym was start boxing. The more I got there, started lifting weights. Get soaking up knowledge from a lot of good cats out there. Shout out Papa Smurf, Jabbar Mayhew, Tucson, Anderson. Who else? Larry, Bruce, just all these cats really helped me out in getting my weightlifting game up or whatever. And I eventually started competing in bodybuilding competitions. And from there, after I competed in the bodybuilding, a few cats came to me and was like, hey, can you train me? And it's like, oh, okay, well, let me try this. So I started training them. A couple of ladies at work, can you train me or whatever? Started training them. And that's where the snowball effect happened. And that's what also helped in creating Reinvention Fitness. But initially it started with me wanting to get back to what I felt comfortable with and then growing on top of that. All right, so yeah, basically, I just wanted to jump on here and share some of my experiences on how I came up with my why, some of the processes, like I said, the experiences, the maturation of what went through to come to my why. So I want to challenge you guys if you're thinking of, or if you know somebody of thinking of starting a business, maybe starting a fitness journey, diet plan, or whatever the case may be, I challenge you guys to spend some time on figuring out your why. Of course, we're going to have our initial surface reasons, and that's okay to start from. But I want you to kind of try to dig deeper, try to find something emotional that you can pull from at those hard times. Because typically, when things get hard, the surface stuff, it doesn't help us as much as tugging on our emotions. So, like I said, if you're trying to start something new, whatever the goal is, whatever you're trying to accomplish, figure out a why and a connection to something that really, really means something to you, because those are the things that's going to, pull you through those hard times. So, as I wanted to end all my videos with this, you may or may not need to hear this at this time. Odds are you probably know somebody who does. So please like, subscribe, and share my video. I often put this video out there because it was something that I needed to hear at this time. I just heard it. I'm gonna catch you on my next video. Peace.